Hi, friends. Welcome to the show. Today I'm with Indian journalist Mr. Mathew Samuel, and we are discussing about the Iranian crisis and the war which is going on in Middle East and how that is related with the American elections. So, for the last 45 years, exactly from 1979, in the streets of Middle East, especially in Hezbollah, with the Hezbollah in Lebanon or Gaza and Iranian streets, Tehran streets, we always hear the word death to America, and the violence and their aggressiveness. And now it's coming to a close end or something like where there is something people feel, especially Americans feel, some end is coming closer.
Yeah, that is what you said is 1979 is a very correct answer. Basically, it started against America and Jewish community and rest of the world because of the Islamic Revolution. That is the core issue. After this Islamic Revolution, this fanatic and fundamentalist force, they taken over the charge as a ruling political party, especially in Iran, Saudi Arabia, and almost Middle East Asian Islamic country. They later known as Islamic countries. So they adopted Islamic laws. And you might be knowing that after this, one of the kingdom, His Highness, what they are calling Crown King, any of this country. So what he told to the public, those who believe in Quran or Islam, they have to believe in Quran and Islam only. That is Hadith, that is the law of the land and law of the people. People, those who are keen and interested on science or whatever it might be, you have to dump it. That is not going to be basically benefit Islam or Quran. And these people dumped all this technology and you might be knowing modern medicine. So they dump it and science and technology studies also. And they only stick with the Quran and Islamic laws and Shariat and all these things. Then what really happened? Because that would be the time you might be knowing internationally and worldwide, technology rising up. It's going like now we are now we are coming in front of the AI technology. And these kind of mostly around 57 nations. So they stick with the Quran and Islam. Then finally, what happened? In each and every sectors. So this is, you can take the classic interview of Mohammed bin Salman, the current ruler. So he also said, before how was Saudi Arabia? Before how it was Iran? It might be one of the biggest force in the world, economically, culturally, science and technology, and worldwide. Everyone is accepted on that. Then finally, they dump everything and stick with only the religious values and Islamic laws and everything. These are the major issue. These countries go downward direction. They themselves bringing back. It's not going ahead. They're bringing back down more than 50 years slow pitch. So the reason most of these Islamic countries, their education standard is very poor and their technical standard is very poor, and they cannot even compete with all the modern countries, what they are going to do in the war or else in the professional army or medicine or technology or science and whatever you can take. This country could not even able to deliver anything. That is one of the reasons. And the second reason, most of these countries stick with their own values in Islam. That is always in terror. So those who against Islam, not even against, those who are non-Muslim, according to these people are saying, I don't know, interpret it or anything else, they are saying we have to finish them. They are calling kafir. So very recently you might be knowing that Indonesia, the country, one of the biggest Islamic country in the world, they removed their education and everything, kafir the word. It's mean that the rulers and their religious leaders told the public, we cannot even call them kafir. We cannot even call them they are non-human because of non-Islam faith or anything else. We have to adjust with them. We have to treat them as our own brothers. This is a major issue happening in the world. So the reason most of these Arabic nations, especially Islamic nations, they are much far behind. Now the superiority in America and Israel, rest of the countries, they literally throw it away this country because of the major issue, Channing. This is the major issue we can say.
So now America is a crucial time where the election is coming closer and the Democratic Party is in control. And the Vice President Kamala Harris is running as the president. And at this point, Biden, in last couple of days, he said, "Don't destroy nuclear," like a soft corner towards the Khamenei regime, which, like just now I said, death to America for 45 years. And still, why the Democratic Party in America, and especially Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, want to save this regime where this is the time for the golden time for finishing the threat to America, and there will be peace coming to the world, to the America, and for whole world. India is a part of, like, India is suffering the terrorism, and so many world, every country is suffering. China is suffering, Russia is suffering in Chechenian rebel groups. So why the Democratic Party in America wants to save the Iranian regime at this point?
I will tell you, Victor, 2-3 points is very important. Because of the Democratic Party, so they do have, I don't think say Democratic, maybe American Strategic Affairs and the think tank, they might think that there is a force in Islamic world, Sunni world, and they are controlling most of this oil. Okay, that is the major economic aspects of this area. And most of the Sunni countries like Saudi Arabia, rest of any country, except Iran, and they were against certain things against US. Because US domination and maybe US is a big power, and US is controlling that oil and everything. There is a people perception in Middle East area, especially this Arabic world. So the country has to go against US. But most of these countries are ruling by this crown prince and family. Well, there is no democracy over there. But they knew very well, if they are going against US, then their dynasty going to be it. Because some others will come. You might be knowing that what happened in Tunisia, Egypt, and all this country. So make it clear, against US, the Sunni factors was forming. So they wanted someone has to go against Sunnis. That may be one of the reasons they facilitated or armed Iranian militia groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, or Houthi, something like that, and you can take. In between, there was a lot of chances. And Israel also complained very deeply against this militia factors because America's indirect support to Iran, and they are supporting this militia factor, those who are against Sunnis. What we can see, in such kind of a time, Israel also given the protest to US, and meanwhile, you might be knowing when Obama was the president of US, he lifted the sanction against Iran because there was a sanction was going on. When Trump came back, he again imposed a sanction. I think because in most of these Republicans party leaders, and they are coming out and saying this was a failure of democratic leadership. They always facilitated such kind of a Shia militia groups through Iran. So that would be one of the reasons Middle East Asia and everything happening, the current situation. That situation is only Democrats are responsible, possibly because of Trump, some of the statement. When he came into the power, he first gone to Saudi Arabia. He's having a good relationship with the Crown Mohammed bin Salman and their family members. And he's very keen. He do not want to enter into Shia kind of a thing. So he make it So his statement and his version of policies is very clear. He always wanted to support and encourage Shia kind of a thing. So Democrats always wanted to go with a balancing act in the Middle East power. So they wanted to, so they are not willing to go that much with the Sunni factions, and they wanted much keen on to Shia because of the fighting each others. Then the importance of America will much more brighter. And so the reason they convinced Israel also, certain things we knew that when Saudi and Houthi issues happening, where in Yemen, because of the uncertainty and unrest in Yemen. So meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and some of these Arabian countries, they demanded American intervention and bombing to Houthis in Yemen because there was no rule over there. Now Houthis controlling most of this Yemen, and they are also firing Suez Canal and Israel, and also they used to fire earlier with all these weapons to Saudi Arabia. This was a plan designed by Iran. And in the days, I don't think so now, and Democrats, they supported Iran to do like that because getting supremacy over there against Sunnis. Now things are changed. It is going to the worst condition because all this militia faction become much more dominated, and they can anyway easily attack this other Sunni countries, including Jordan and all these things, and Iran is controlling. Now the things are changing. Now Democrats also, I think, convinced what they did, their policy was completely changed. And Death America, that is the first slogan is coming. Then only Israel is going. So this matters. So this is this exactly happening in the US-based and Middle East Asian issues.
So when we like it's almost 2 days that Iran sent some missiles or projectiles to Israel, and more the CENTCOM, Central Command of United States Military, will be doing all the operations here. And the Abraham Lincoln, USS Abraham Lincoln is already in the waters, and more boats are on the way. So do you expect the escalation and finishing this regime, Khamenei regime, or with Israel? And even though Biden have a different view, do you think this will be the end of Khamenei and the regime?
No, one thing I wanted to make clear, during last election survey, Kamala do have the edge because of the survey. Now, after this Middle East Asian escalation of the war situation, because of one or some point coming from one and each thing, I don't think so Democrats or Kamala can defend what they did. Now it's a golden opportunity, and all the Americans also willing to do that, and all over the world. That's the reason G7 is completely supporting Israel, and NATO countries is supporting Israel, because there was a big difference of opinion there. Lots of civilian killing, death happening in the Gaza still because of Israeli invasion and how they did the war. Now things rapidly change, but fast moving changes happening. And if the war, 100% Israel going to attack, and American warship and base is going to prevent any kind of a Iranian move through air or surface-to-surface missile, any kind of thing, because around 19 bases are there in Middle East, America do have. And it's including almost every Sunni nation. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan, you can take, and some of the Iraq, some bases over there. So possibly, if the war started in a full blow or full threat, of course, this is going to end off Iran. The regime will finish and they will throw it out. And it's concerned about how public, because most of the public in Iran is against the regime. Because after this, they fed up with all this guy because of the hijab issue, Mahsa Amini issue, and more than 500 people, Iranians, they killed because of the regime. And Ibrahim Raisi died, then he killed around 5,000 people. The entire Iranians most of these Iranians are against the regime and the rulers and IRGC. Now it's a very crucial point. This is the right time and golden time. Israel and US and allied force can finish this regime and give a protection to the people. The new regime and the new ruling party, a democratically elected party, will come. So that may going to be a golden era of Middle East.
Another important question is, last week the Russian Prime Minister was in Iran, and we know they are very close allies for at least during the Cold War and the years after. They are still continuing the support for Iran and Syria and all the troublemakers in the area, and even the Lebanon and all the indirectly supporting. So do you expect any interference from Putin at this point where the close ally is in the brink of collapse and Khamenei will be gone? So do you think Putin will interfere?
No, Putin is incapable to do anything right now in this world because his force and the administration is completely engaged in Ukraine. A few days back, when the Hezbollah, Israel strike against Hezbollah and Lebanon, and there was, we don't even know, but later we came to know, in Syria there was a Hezbollah because it's owned by Russian base. More than 25 Russian Sukhoi and MiG-29 flight was on the base because during the Azad regime against Sunni and all this fight happening. When Israeli monitored this base and the weapons is using by Hezbollah, and Israeli authorities, they told Iranian aircraft do not land their aircraft, transport aircraft in Beirut because of they might be transporting weapons to Hezbollah because after this attack of Nasrallah, they finished Nasrallah and all these leaders. Meanwhile, the Hezbollah military, their militia, they used to take the weapons, they transported through Iran through this airport in Russian base. Meanwhile, we later came to know Israel informed to Russia, we are going to destroy this because these people are transporting weapons from Iran to here and they are using this weapon against us. We are going to destroy. That time, Putin, what he can supposed to say? There was a force over there around 5,000 people once it was there in near to Syria, near to Damascus. So due to Russia-Ukraine war, he withdrawn the force. There was only a base there and building there and weapons kept it. So that also they bombed it. And what Iranian were supposed to come Iranian aircraft to deliver the weapons to Hezbollah, that also destroyed. Then what Russia did? This is a question. So the reason Russian Prime Minister flew, in Tehran and talked to them, they given just like a bluff. We are with us, you can do. They literally wanted to take away global notice and eyeballs from Iran, Ukraine, Russia topic, and the war is going. So let's put them every blame to Iran. That was a strategy what they did. I think so. Iranian administration is completely misguided by Russia. So they said they might be saying that we are supporting. They cannot even support. They are in a bad shape. How they can go to support? So this is what exactly I think.
So let's hope that with this we are concluding this video, and we are hoping that the peace will prevail in this world, and this will be the end of the Khamenei regime, and there is no more death to America chance coming out of Middle East, and world will be a happy, better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you.